Silence, all stand. All persons having any business before this honourable court now draw nigh, give your attendance, and you shall be heard.
Admission of lawyers. Lorraine, Christina and Alora.
May it please the court, I move that Lorraine, Christina and Alora be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Lorraine, Christina and Alora be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Lucinda Catherine Anderson.
May it please the court, I move that my sister Lucinda Catherine Anderson be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Lucinda Catherine Anderson be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Julia Elizabeth Baines.
May it please the court, I move that Julia Elizabeth Baines be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Julia Elizabeth Baines be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Amelia May Best.
May it please the court, I move that my sister Amelia May Best be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Amelia May Best be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Natasha Reddy Binney.
May it please the court, I move that Natasha Reddy Binney be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Natasha Reddy Binney be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Reese McLean Blackett.
May it please the court, I move that Reese McLean Blackett be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Reese McLean Blackett be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Darcy Joseph Bowers.
May it please the court, I move that Darcy Joseph Bowers be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Darcy Joseph Bowers be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Maya Browner.
May it please the court, I move that Maya Browner be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Maya Browner be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Sarisha Badu.
May it please the court, I move that Sarisha Badu be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Sarisha Badu be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Jing Chen.
May it please the court, I move that Jing Chen be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Jing Chen be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Raphael Kenneth Chu.
May it please the court, I move that Raphael Kenneth Chu be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Raphael Kenneth Chu be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Lucy Madison Connell.
May it please the court, I move that Lucy Madison Connell be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Lucy Madison Connell be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Archer Dillon.
May it please the court, I move that my niece Archer Dillon be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Archer Dillon be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Eilish Helena Dodd.
May it please the court, I move that Eilish Helena Dodd be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Eilish Helena Dodd be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Simone Marie Dwayhe.
May it please the court, I move that Simone Marie Dwayhe be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Simone Marie Dwayhe be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Mary H. Duong.
May it please the court, I move that Mary H. Duong be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Mary H. Duong be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Nua El Kawaja.
May it please the court, I move that Nua El Kawaja be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Nua El Kawaja be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Anna Victoria Elliott.
May it please the court, I move that Anna Victoria Elliott be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Anna Victoria Elliott be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Terence Elson.
May it please the court, I move that Terence Elson be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Terence Elson be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Benjamin Peter Feather.
May it please the court, I move that Benjamin Peter Feather be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Benjamin Peter Feather be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Madison Mary Fitzgerald.
May it please the court, I move that Madison Mary Fitzgerald be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Madison Mary Fitzgerald be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Timothy Jonathan Ford.
May it please the court, I move that Timothy Jonathan Ford be admitted as a lawyer of
this honourable court.
Let Timothy Jonathan Ford be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Lachlan Griffin Hilling Gleeson.
May it please the court, I move that Lachlan Griffin Healing Gleeson be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Lachlan Griffin Hilling Gleeson be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Johanna Glenn.
May it please the court, I move that Johanna Glenn be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Johanna Glenn be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Christopher Aaron Gosling.
Please the court, I move that Christopher Aaron Gosling be admitted as a lawyer in this of his honourable court.
Let Christopher Aaron Gosling be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Cameron Peter Gregg.
May it please the court, I move that Cameron Peter Gregg be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Cameron Peter Gregg be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Alexander Quang Ho.
May it please the court, I move that Alexander Quang Ho be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Alexander Quang Ho be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Jeanette May Ruby.
May it please the court, I move that Jeanette May Ruby be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Jeanette May Ruby be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Jane Frances Hughes.
May it please the court, I move that my daughter, Jane Frances Hughes, be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Jane Frances Hughes be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Isabel Amy Inman.
May it please the court, I move that Isabel Amy Inman be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Isabel Amy Inman be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Medulla Karmagam Senthilkumar.
May it please the court, I move that Medulla Karmagam Senthilkumar be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Medulla Karmagam Senthilkumar be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Michael Nabil Kurbaj.
May it please the court, I move that Michael Nabil Kurbaj be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Michael Nabil Kurbaj be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Dominica Sophia Labozetta.
May it please the court, I move that Domenica Sofia Lapozzetta be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Domenica Sofia Labozzetta be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Kwezing Lin.
May it please the court, I move that Keizing Lin be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Keizing Ling be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Natasha Lindsay Lobo.
May it please the court, I move that Natasha Lindsay Lobo, my partner, be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Natasha Lindsay Lobo be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Kate Elizabeth Maney.
May it please the court, I move that Kate Elizabeth Maney be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Kate Elizabeth Maney be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Milena Marjanovic.
May it please the court, I move that Milena Marjanovic be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Marlena Marjanovic be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Alexandra Martine Woodhill Morris.
May it please the court, I move that Alexandra Martine Woodhill Morris be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Alexandra Martine Woodhill Morris be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Chloe Moses.
May it please the court, I move that Chloe Moses be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Chloe Moses be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Evelyn Claire Quinn Merrant.
May it please the court, I move that Evelyn Claire Quinn Moran be admitted as a lawyer to this honourable court.
Let Evelyn Claire Quinn Merrant be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Mary Baptine Neach.
May it please the court, I move that Mary Baptine Neach be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Mary Baptine Neach be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Andre Gabriel Nesti.
May it please the court, I move that Andre Gabriel Nesti be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Andre Gabriel Nesti be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Sarah Sukran Ordukaya.
May it please the court, I move that Sarah Sukran Ordukaya be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Sarah Sukran Urkaya be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Sophia Isabella Pepin.
May it please the court, I move that Sophia Isabella Pepin be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Sophia Isabella Pepin be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Madeline Ann Bennett Salir.
May it please the court, I move that my daughter, Madeline Ann Bennett Salir, be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
May Madeline Ann Bennett Salir be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Andrew Samba.
May it please the court,
I move that Andrew Sambar be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Andrew Sambar be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Sukhman Sandhu.
May it please the court, I move that my daughter Sukhman Sandhu be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Sukhman Sandhu be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Megan Jennifer Schnitzler.
May it please the court, I move that Megan Jennifer Schnitzler be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Megan Jennifer Schnitzler be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Karen Rachel Schumann.
May it please the court, I move that Karen Rachel Schumann be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Karen Rachel Schumann be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Kevin Ijia Settle.
May it please the court, I move that Kevin Ija Settle be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Kevin Ija Settle be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Lani Sarah Sharples.
May it please the court, I move that Lani Sarah Sharples be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Lani Sarah Sharples be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Alyssa Tawel.
May it please the court, I move that Alyssa Tarwell be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Alyssa Tarwell be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Amy True.
May it please the court, I move that Amy True be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Amy True be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Kai Wing Alison Choi.
May it please the court, I move that Kai Wing Alison Choi be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Kai Wing Alison Choi be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Madeline Vaz.
May it please the court, I move that Madeline Vaz be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Madeline Vaz be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Noemi Eloisa Vivas.
May it please the court, I move that Noemi Eloisa Vivas be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Naomi Eloisa Vivas be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Kai Hong Wang.
May it please the court, I move that Kai Hong Wang be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Kai Hong Wang be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Jing Yu.
May it please the court, I move that Jing Yu be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Jing Yu be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Ali Zah.
May it please the court, I move that Ali Zah be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Ali Zah be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Yanting Zhu.
May it please the court, I move that Yanting Zhu be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Yanting Zhu be admitted as a lawyer of this court. It will be necessary for those applicants whose admission has been moved to stand and remain standing for the purpose of swearing an oath or making a declaration. Please stand as directed by the officiating officer.
Could just rows 1 and 2 on my right please stand. Lorraine Christina Andaloro, Lucinda Catherine Anderson, Julia Elizabeth Baines, Amelia May Best, Natasha Reddy Binry, Reese McLean Blackett, Darcy Joseph Bowers, Maya Browner, Sarisha Bodu, Jing Chen, Raphael Kenneth Chu, Lucy Madison Connell, Archie Dillon, Eilish Helena Dodd, Simone Marie Dway, and Mary H. Duong. Do you severally swear or declare and affirm that you will truly and honestly conduct yourselves in the practice of a lawyer of the Supreme Court of New South Wales, and that you will faithfully serve as such in the administration of the laws and usages of this state according to the best of your knowledge, skill, and ability? Would you please say, "So help me God," or "I do"?
I do.
Thank you. Please sit down. Could rows 3 and 4 on my right please stand? Noah El Kawaja, Anna Victoria Elliott, Terence Elson, Benjamin Peter Feather, Madison Mary Fitzgerald, Timothy Jonathan Ford, Lachlan Griffin Hilling Gleeson, Johanna Glenn, Christopher Aaron Gosling, Cameron Peter Gregg, Alexander Quang Ho, Jeanette May Ruby, Jane Frances Hughes, Isabel Amy Inman, Medula Kamagam Senthilkumar, Michael Nabil Kabaj, Domenica Sophia Labazetta, Kui Zing Lin, Natasha Lindsay Lobo, Kate Elizabeth Maney. Do you severally swear or declare and affirm that you will truly and honestly conduct yourselves in the practice of a lawyer of the Supreme Court of New South Wales, and that you will faithfully serve as such in the administration of the laws and usages of this state according to the best of your knowledge, skill and ability? Would you please say, "So help me God," or "I do"? Thank you. Please sit down. Could the row of admittees in front of me please stand? Thanks. Milena Majanovic, Alexandra Martine Woodhill Morris, Chloe Moses, Evelyn Claire Quinn Merrant, Mary Bapti Neach, Andre Gabriel Nesti, Sarah Sukran Ordukaya, Sophia Isabella Pepin, Madeline Ann Bennett Solia, Andrew Sambar, and Sukman Sandhu. Do you severally swear or declare and affirm that you will truly and honestly conduct yourselves in the practice of a lawyer of the Supreme Court of New South Wales, and that you will faithfully serve as such in the administration of the laws and usages of this state according to the best of your knowledge, skill and ability? Please say, "So help me God," or "I do."
I do.
Thank you. Please sit down. And could the two rows on my left please stand? Megan Jennifer Schnitzler, Karen Rachel Schumann, Kevin Igia Settle, Lani Sarah Sharples, Alyssa Towell, Amy True, Kai Wing Alison Choi, Madeline Vaz, Nohemi Eloisa Vivas, Kai Hong Wang, Jing Yu, Ali Zhang, and Yanting Zhu. Do you severally swear or declare and affirm that you will truly and honestly conduct yourselves in the practice of a lawyer of the Supreme Court of New South Wales, and that you will faithfully serve as such in the administration of the laws and usages of this state according to the best of your knowledge, skill and ability? Would you please say, "So help me God," or "I do"? Thank you. Please sit down.
May I warmly welcome you on the occasion of your admission as a lawyer of this honourable court. I'd like to recognise the traditional owners of the lands on which this admission ceremony has taken place, the Gadigal people of the Eora Nation. I acknowledge and pay my respects to their elders, past, present and emerging. Saying those words is important. Thinking about what they mean and how the past carries forward to the present and into the future is also important. The legal system has seen its share of failures and successes in dealing with the traditional societies which inhabited this land before this court and the institutions associated with it arrived. And their legacy is with us today, and it will be with us tomorrow. With me on the bench is Justice Hamill to my right, Justice Richmond on my left. Together we constitute the court which, in an exercise of its jurisdiction, has admitted each of you as a legal practitioner. We're also joined by Justice Duggan of the Land and Environment Court. Together, we've been sitting as judges for around 28 years. That may seem like an impossibly long time, but it's short compared to the timeframes I've already mentioned and to which I'll return. Each of you has sworn an oath or made an affirmation that you will truly and honestly conduct yourself in the practice of a lawyer of the Supreme Court of New South Wales, and that you'll faithfully serve as such in the administration of the laws and usages of this state, according to the best of your knowledge, skills, and ability. Despite the solemnity of what you've just done, this is a time for celebration. Your admission marks the culmination of your legal studies to date. You're each entitled to look back with pride, tinged with relief, and perhaps nostalgia, on nights memorising case summaries about snails in bottles and carbolic smoke balls. But I think it's only fair to confirm what you may already have suspected, which is that as new laws are enacted and new decisions are delivered, it's going to be necessary to continue studying. It's not all over. But all of you have worked incredibly hard to get here, and it's quite right to treat today as a red letter day. We're sitting in the Banco court. That's the largest courtroom in the Supreme Court. The name is interesting. It's not called that because the Reserve Bank is just around the corner. Still less is it called that because the legal profession is a path to inevitable wealth. It's not. It's a very old word used to signify when all members of the court sat together in order to pronounce an authoritative decision. That has long since changed, but we retain the name. Let me now turn from where we're sitting to what we're wearing. We three judges are wearing garb which is not especially fashionable, and I can assure you it's not especially comfortable on a humid October morning. It's substantially the same as was worn centuries ago in the Court of King's Bench on red letter days and ceremonial occasions, and has remained unaltered in its essentials since at least the 15th century. Around you are portraits of most of the Chief Justices of this court. Now, the older ones are not necessarily very accurate. The oldest of all, that of Sir Francis Forbes, the first Chief Justice, was said in one contemporary newspaper to be, quote, a wretched daub bearing not the remotest resemblance to the original. But irrespective of the quality of the artwork and the accuracy of the likeness, you can see that all of them are men. In part, that is an inevitable consequence of laws which until only a century ago prevented women from practicing law, not to mention standing for Parliament. That's not how it works today. For most of my time as a judge, I've worked under a female president of the Court of Appeal. That was Justice Beazley for 6 years until she became governor of this state. And for the last few years, it's been Justice Ward. Women hold offices as the Chief Judge of the District Court of New South Wales, the Chief Judge of the Federal Court of Australia, the Chief Justice of the Supreme Courts of Queensland and Victoria, and the Australian Capital Territory. The local court of New South Wales, which is the court encountered by far and away the largest number of ordinary citizens, has an almost exactly equal number of male and female magistrates. In fact, around 43% of all judicial officers in New South Wales are women. And today, around a century after it became possible for a woman to be admitted, more than half of the solicitors in this state are women. There's been a great deal of change, but there's also been much continuity. We don't call this courtroom the Banco Court, or wear these robes, or hang these portraits, because they accurately describe all aspects of the legal system in 2024. We do so because they're part of a continuing legal tradition. In participating in this ceremony today, you have become part of that tradition. The ceremony dates back to the 12th century, when it first became common for those representing others before courts to swear an oath before being allowed to practice. The first admission ceremony to this court was held just more than 2 centuries ago. The Sydney Gazette of 27 May 1824 records that on 21st of May at 10 o'clock, His Honour the Chief Justice appeared in court in order to administer the customary oath to 6 solicitors. The substance of what occurred a few minutes ago was no different from what occurred just over 2 centuries ago. Earlier this year, the court to which you've just been admitted celebrated its 200th anniversary. And indeed, when the ceremony is over and you move to the lobby of the court to sign the roll and receive your certificate of admission, you will also be presented, gratis, I hasten to say, with a copy of the court's bicentennial history, Constant Guardian Changing Times, a history of the Supreme Court of New South Wales, as a memento of your admission in this bicentennial year. I do hope you take the time to read and enjoy it. It has a wealth of fascinating information about the court in which each of you has just become an officer. I mention the past because there is much that should not be forgotten. There are very few courts in the world with an uninterrupted history of administering the common law as old as the Supreme Court of New South Wales, just as there are very few countries with an uninterrupted tradition of the rule of law more ancient than Australia. The fact that this country achieved independence from the United Kingdom without a revolution, but by the orderly processes of law, is remarkable, rare, and worth celebrating. There are only a handful of such countries in the world today. They are beacons of the rule of law. It is increasingly important that those beacons shine brightly. That happens because of people like you. You have made a commitment to uphold the rule of law and to administer the law competently and with honesty and integrity. Lawyers have done so for centuries. It's out of respect of that long history that we mark your admission to the legal profession with the swearing of oaths or making of affirmations, and for that matter, our strange choice of fashion in this strangely named courtroom. Now, one can acknowledge and recognise a long history while at the same time celebrating change. The diversity that we see in the newly admitted practitioners today mirrors a profession which is more diverse than it has ever been. There is more to be done, but what has occurred is entirely for the better. You're becoming lawyers at a difficult time. Putting to one side its dreadful human costs, the pandemic created fear and uncertainty, destroyed livelihoods, and curtailed many freedoms which before 2020 we used to take for granted. Although, if you read pages 291 and 292 of Constant Garden, which you're going to get when you sign the roll, you may care to read of the mandatory mask legislation in 1919 and the tension it caused. Some things never change. But the existence of a public health emergency doesn't mean that the rule of law has been suspended. In fact, the rule of law is all the more important. History teaches that basic liberties are at their most vulnerable in times of crisis. When significant decisions are necessarily made in haste and without precedent, when parliamentary sessions are suspended, and when great power is given to the executive government and executive agencies, the role of lawyers in upholding the rule of law is crucial. The pandemic and the response to it has raised legal issues that strike at the heart of our democracy and civil liberties. How are risks to public health to be balanced against freedom of assembly? How are expanded police powers regulated by law to protect the community? Do the new powers disproportionately affect the most disadvantaged members of our society, including those who descend from those who inhabited this land before the English common law arrived? Our profession plays an essential role in ensuring that emergency measures are transparent, proportionate, and applied in a non-discriminatory manner. Now, I've already mentioned the fact your studies will never be complete. That's not the only gloomy news today. The fact of the matter is, as lawyers, from time to time you're going to be unpopular. The task of lawyers is to assist their clients, even if those clients are disliked or controversial or abhorrent. The fact that a client is disliked or controversial or abhorrent does not mean that the rule of law does not apply to him or her or it. The forces of social media can make this even harder. It seems almost unthinkable, but only 3 years ago, a prominent British silk, who was quite famous, by the way, for arguing cases involving human rights, was attacked for taking a brief to appear in an appeal concerning the validity of same-sex marriage legislation in the Cayman Islands. Her duty as a barrister was to accept any brief within her capacities on a day in which she was free to appear and advocate as effectively as she could for that client, irrespective of her personal views on the statute and irrespective of whether her client's position was popular or otherwise. People have always found it difficult to understand this, even while they've enjoyed the civil liberties that accompany a robust legal system. Now, for most of you today, appearance in a high-profile appeal may be a few months or maybe even a few years away. But the general point is that even the most fundamental aspects of our legal system, which is one of the main things regulating the exercise of public power, can easily be misunderstood, and even by those who ought to know better. That means that people will look to you for your views on how the law works and whether indeed it is just a little bit more complicated than can be conveyed in a 30-second item on the news. Part of your job will be to explain that things are often more nuanced than 141 strident characters shouted out in some social media platform. Those things are serious, but fortunately, it's not all gloom and doom. As a member of the legal profession, you're now in a position of great privilege. You'll play a trusted role in some of the most testing times of others. You will be their confidant, their advisor, and perhaps also an advocate. My expectation is that most, if not all of you, will find that stimulating and worthwhile. I certainly did. You've also today joined a profession whose support and collegiality will prove invaluable. It's easy to feel isolated. The pandemic hasn't helped. Remember that even when you're working from home, you're not working alone. Over the last 3 decades since I was admitted, in this courtroom, in a ceremony quite similar to today's, except the jokes were funnier, I was able, after a disappointing day, to speak to colleagues and share my accounts of the outrages I had suffered and listen to the equally monstrous injustices that had befallen them. That collegiality is an extraordinary quality of our profession. Let me now call upon the representatives of the New South Wales Bar Association and the Law Society to say a few words. Mr. Fennell, do you move?
May it please the Court. My name is John Fennell, and I have been practising for just over 2 years at the bar, predominantly in criminal law. On behalf of the New South Wales Bar Association, I welcome you to the legal profession. While the legal profession is an old profession based on precedent and the rule of law, it is also a profession that grows and develops to adapt to new practices and technology, and importantly, to society's values as they change over time. For several decades now, the composition of lawyers and barristers in New South Wales has changed to better reflect the community. The bar today is a welcoming place for people of all genders and backgrounds. It is an honour to be a lawyer, and in my case, a barrister. I am proud to be a member of the legal profession. As a lawyer, including as both a solicitor and barrister, I have been immensely fortunate to represent individuals, companies, and even the state in a broad range of matters. Every day is different and carries unique and intriguing challenges. I'm deeply rewarded by all of the opportunities I'm given to provide advice, advocate in court, and protect people's rights through the legal system. In terms of how I got here, I was fortunate to grow up with some lawyers in my family who encouraged me to consider a career in the law, given I enjoyed a good argument and was somewhat of a contrarian. That encouragement led me to study law, then work as a tipstaff and researcher in this court, then as a solicitor, and now as a barrister. I'm very grateful I was steered in this direction. Those who encouraged me proved they knew me well. If you are interested in coming to the bar, you can contact the New South Wales Bar Association or have a look at its website. Each year, there is also a Career at the Bar Open Day. In your first year of practice as a reader, you receive particular assistance from 2 barristers of at least 7 years seniority, who meet with you weekly, review your work, and teach you practical skills. But the support you will receive is not limited to those 2 barristers. The bar is renowned for its collegiality, especially in chambers. There are also opportunities to become involved in the work of the New South Wales Bar Association, which is the professional body that supports barristers and has a range of committees, including a New Barristers Committee, which organises social and educational functions for barristers of 0 to 5 years standing, like me, and a Diversity and Equality Committee, which promotes one of the key strategic goals of the New South Wales Bar Association, namely, to attract people to become barristers, regardless of their race, religion, gender, parental status, or sexual orientation. Whether as a lawyer or barrister, I encourage you to get involved in the Law Society or Bar Association and to use your skills to assist your community. It is a rewarding experience to practice in connection with others in your profession. Once again, on behalf of the New South Wales Bar Association, I welcome you to the legal profession and I congratulate you on your admission today as a lawyer of this honourable court. May it please the court.
Ms. Nelson, do you move?
May it please the court. My name is Jasmine Nelson, and not so long ago I stood where you are standing today, and what a day it is. You are here being admitted to the Supreme Court role as the final step at the end of a long and arduous journey. You should all feel immensely proud of what you have achieved thus far. When I embarked on my career as a solicitor, I had no real idea of what to expect. It was not always easy. Often it was overwhelming. But as I stand here today, after almost 5 years of working as a solicitor, I can tell you I've already learned a thing or two. One of the most important things I've learned is the importance of belonging to a profession. The legal profession is an increasingly large and diverse community, and one to which you now belong. The Law Society of New South Wales is the home of that community, with our 30,000 members flung far and wide across the state. We are bound by our shared duties, our commitment to continuous learning, our desire to connect, and our drive to give back to our communities and uphold the rule of law. As an early career lawyer, belonging to a strong network of peers is crucial. That's why I have been a part of the Law Society of New South Wales and New South Wales Young Lawyers for 5 years. Here I have found friendship, inspiration, guidance, and support when I needed it most, as well as opportunities to advocate and join committees. By joining the Law Society and New South Wales Young Lawyers, you will gain access to professional support, conferences and events, a wide range of publications, professional development opportunities, mentoring, volunteer opportunities, and so much more. It is the role of the Law Society to ensure that you, as newly minted solicitors, can thrive and succeed in your new profession. So again, congratulations to you all. Look us up or speak to your employer. We look forward to welcoming you in the Law Society community.
May I say this to you all in closing? The law is a wonderful profession. It's stimulating, challenging, satisfying, and populated by intelligent, committed, and dynamic people. You should be proud to be a lawyer, proud of your achievements to date, and proud of the profession you've just joined. It's a very important profession that underpins stability and cohesion in our community. You are now a very important part of that very important profession. I've mentioned almost everyone here today in this courtroom, but there's another group, numerically the largest, who shouldn't be neglected. For many of you newly admitted lawyers, your achievements would not have been possible without the support of your family and friends. They've been there through the long years of study. They may also have been on the receiving end, willingly or unwillingly, of your finely polished skills of argument and persuasion. Today is also a day for them to share in your success. I hope all of the newly admitted legal practitioners take the time to thank them for their support. On behalf of all of the judges of the Supreme Court, I once again congratulate you on your admission and welcome you to the legal profession. The court will now adjourn.
All stand. This honourable court is now adjourned.